Okay, hopefully that's going to be okay. Sorry about the unprofessional start here, folks. It's a taste of what's to come. Hi, I'm hoping that's in the right place. Now it's not moving. My name is Paul Murphy. Thank you for your time. There will be lots of throat clearing and seizing up of jaws in this. Just warn you in advance. You'll have read this in the title bar, unless you're my children, in which case, hi Dill, hi Emily, how you doing there? Just Daddy rambling on. The rest of you will see this on one of my channels. So it's a recital of some of the, as I'm now too disabled to stand up and play guitar anymore, I thought I would make some recital videos of the lyrics to the songs that I've written recently. So on the 4th of October 2024 now, not in particular order, then there's lots missing. I'm just going to talk a few more minutes, I promise. And I only have one page left of Something's Burning. Corroded Wish Is Gone Forever. The 27-minute long, I don't know how many thousand words, El Dorado. Again, Gone Forever, the lyrics were destroyed when the NHS came with it. I don't want to go down too far there. So, and I'm going to work backwards, I guess. I don't know how it's going to come. So, just looking at the lyric pile, I'm so prolific. And we're going to start with what is likely to remain the last song I ever wrote, which I wrote about 8 o'clock last night, 9 o'clock last night. And it's called Not Too Many Dreams Left Now. I may do a bit of talky about some of the songs where they came from, but I'll try and keep it to a bare minimum. I get a sneaking suspicion that camera is not at a straight angle. I might tilt myself over. I apologise in advance for the fact my jaw isn't working anymore. Well, not as well as it should do. Not as well as an Irishman would like his jaw to be working. Not too many dreams left now. The race is over. It went by so fast. Even when you're winning, you still come in last. No more sunsets. No more dawns. The last horizon's been and gone. The page is empty. The prayer book too. Anything you're sorry for, you can no longer undo. Not one step backward will fate allow. Not too many dreams left now. You hear the piper? Do you know that song? Do you want to forgive those that did you wrong? Are you feeling vengeful or contrite? Are you trying to speak, but your throat's too tight? The page is empty, the prayer book too. Anything you're sorry for, you can't undo. You want to deny it, but you don't know how. Not too many dreams left now. Replay your memories one more time. Does the punishment really fit the crime? Nothing's crueler when the hand beckons than counting up those wasted seconds. The page is empty, the prayer book too. Anything you're sorry for, you can't undo. Clutching straws made from broken vows. Not too many dreams left now. 7 p.m. last night I wrote that. And here's another song I wrote yesterday. It's strange for me, because obviously I'm just doing recitals here. Now there's an A minor song there. The next one, I'm not going to bring my glasses on. Don't know if I should, but and this was just an out and out punker that came to me. I just cover the eyes up no matter what, don't you? You know who you are. You were nothing then. You are nothing today. You'll be nothing tomorrow in any kind of way. You cheat and you steal, you troll and you lie. The world will be a better place when you die. Everyone's working to fund your life. You abused your daughter and you beat your wife. You bully the weak and embezzle the poor. And the law turns a blind eye like 100 times before. Living in luxury, yet you've never worked a day. 15 quid a wrap, 20 for 2, okay. I thought so. I do apologise. No backsies, folks. Originally this was a 3-verse song, and then I walked away, and by the time I got set up, another verse came, but the verse came as the penultimate verse. So, you know who you are. You were nothing then, and you're nothing today. You'll be nothing tomorrow in any kind of way. You cheat and you steal, you troll and you lie. The world will be a better place when you die. Everyone's working to fund your life. You abused your daughter and you beat your wife. You bully the weak and embezzle the poor, and the law turns a blind eye like 100 times before. You mock the disabled with sadistic tongue. You intimidate the vulnerable and groom the young. You send out henchmen when someone fights back, saying make his children your first point of attack. Living in luxury, yet you've never worked a day. 15 quid a wrap, 2 for 20, okay? You're insidious vermin, you're worthless scum. The world will be a better place when your time comes. That was a hard one yesterday when that one came along. I said I'd talk a little bit about the songs. My children, Dylan and Emily, please put your fingers in your ears. I don't care how old you are now. Don't listen for the next few seconds. Obviously my songs, when I write them, there's a genesis point and it goes, my songs they're wide ranging, even if they're about me, only the initiation point may be about me, and then it goes out further. But I get asked so many times, are your songs true stories? And yeah, they're all true stories, but they don't necessarily have happened to me. You said that henchman when someone fights back, saying make his children your first point of attack. Yeah, that's directly here. A few years ago, we were a mixed race family, and this is not a good village to be a mixed race family in. I mean, in England, there's no good place to have an Irish surname in, but slightly unfair generalisation there. But I've never lived in one, that is true. And some nasty thugs. Various people, it used to be a nice village, people died out. And there's social housing, we're moving what they deem their problematic families in. And what happens when you move a certain number of problems to keep them away from their own coterie, as it were. But when you move a certain number of problem families into a very tiny village, 12 houses, proportionately, so you might have 2 problem families in a state of 400 houses. They're watered down, the good and the bad, But when you move what may be deemed problem families into a basic village of only 12 houses, and there's already some existing, then the scales go the other way, if you take off the proportion of the other people who are too old, don't want to get involved, just want a quiet life, you end up being very isolated. And we were driving the children to school one morning. My children were, I think, 5 and 6 at the time. What they'd done was they drilled a screw into the tyre. They told us at the tyre shop that it's to make what they call a tyre bomb. Instead of just slashing the tyres, which they'd done on several occasions already. In case you're wondering, we did call the police, and we called our landlord. He was also their landlord, and he said, well, if you don't like it, move. Ethnic cleansing. So I just point this in for when I sing some of these songs. You're a bit angry there. You think? This is becoming less of a poetry recital and more of a polemic. We'll get back onto it quite soon. So if you put a screw into a tyre instead of a nail, or just slash it, because it's threaded, the tyre doesn't go down. But when you're driving along at a certain point, it starts to unscrew, the pressure makes it unscrew, and then it just, and when it goes, of course, because the big bit is what's holding it in, the small bit, you get a much larger hole and it blows. And it was a February morning, ice on the ground. We'd just gone past, thankfully, a double bend, and it blew then. And because we were coming off a dangerous bend, I'd slow down because I know the road. And one of those things, but seconds. And seconds later, a bus came through to go to the double bend. Literally seconds. All 4 of us may well have died, and probably would have done. Those people still live here. Shall we proceed? Here's a positive one coming up. This is called, this isn't the title, this was going to be the last song I ever wrote, and those 2 came along yesterday. I could have done without, in many ways, the last song coming along last night, but I didn't want my last song to be, I never know what's going to come out or when, I didn't want You Know Who You Are to be my last ever song, and that the last lines I would ever write on this earth to be, you send out henchmen, because although it's verse 3 that the last lines are in. So I was quite pleased when, even though it's a song about the end of one's life, rapidly approaching, when not many dreams left now came along. Here's a positive song that I wrote before. They don't know how strong I am. Dark thoughts are on the prowl, whispering to me. Everything is your own fault. You're your own worst enemy. Listen to our venom. Believe the lies we say. We're here to take your self-belief and drive it away. Dark thoughts are circling, talons set to strike. You don't have a single friend. I wonder what that's like. No one cares about you. We want you to accept. We've come to swap your happiness with unearned regret. Dark thoughts are closing in, coming at me from all sides. Your self-worth shall be our prize. You got nowhere to hide. Let your defenses down. They cannot repel us. Look at the gifts we bring you. Sadness and mistrust. But they don't know how strong I am. They'll never conquer me. Time and time they come to call, each time with futility. I sever their insidious tendrils with the sharp blade of my pure heart. They think they can overpower me. They don't know where to start. They don't know how strong I am, these puny, worthless snipes. I cast them to their shadows with my inner light. The flowers of despair can't bloom in my soul's sacred soil. They can launch their stealth attacks. They always will be foiled. No, they don't know how strong I am. They're learning to their cost. I might be alone at times, but never am I lost. They sing their malicious mantras, hoping that I will join in. I am my own army, and I will always win. And I wrote that 2 days ago, 2nd of October, 2024. And that song, I can't see a thing with my glasses on, but they don't know. My eyelids don't always work because the disease is even spread into the little tiny muscles now, so one ends up, looking like someone melted my face at certain points. Quick spasm of the legs there, didn't go down well. Okay, so that's well, that's a very positive song there. I speak about it more on the online channels if you actually go to the song, but there's a very wonderful young lady who lives in America, a very talented artist, and a lady with a pure good heart, who've been having something of a bad time, and yeah, I haven't said this to her before, but I'll say it now, and just because it applies to my son as well. Dylan, listen to Daddy here. And this wonderful lady sent me a message and said, "Hi Paul, sorry I haven't been in touch for a couple of days, but one understands. I mean, there's the politeness and everything that's in that. But it's the sorry, it's me. Don't be sorry. It's you. Don't be sorry. It's kind of, hey Paul, I haven't been in touch because, okay, don't be sorry. It's happening. Whatever's going down. You have to find that balance between sometimes politeness can be not an enemy, but it can be just eroding a little bit of the armor. Like a little bit of, plaque on one's teeth, I guess, or something, Obviously, the sugar attacks them in a big way and stuff, but you can also, I think fruit juice attacks it. This is a very bad analogy, isn't it? So, or hey Paul, or put the sorry at the end, So, I wish I could have been. And Dylan, my beautiful son, my son is like this. Anything happens. My beautiful son has just turned 12 years old, and Dylan, I keep saying this to you, So, so many instances. But he was saying, and something bad has happened to him, and he would say, "Well, I'm sorry I couldn't call you today. I know you're so, but it's not your fault, darling." Pigeons are laughing and distracting me. Don't apologize. If someone is being unreasonable to you, don't look at them and say, "Well, I'm sorry, person X, but I was drawing my comic, I was doing this and stuff, I haven't done this and doing this, just, I'm hoping that, a carapace will develop in Dylan at a certain point, when someone's being unreasonable to me, just do it. Well, my son gets slightly upset sometimes. I think everyone does about online bullying, He said to me just the other day, "This has not become a poetry recital anymore, I do apologise." And he said, he's got a YouTube channel himself, and he said, "It's nice, isn't it, when someone says, 'Hey, I really like your work.'" And that is, and I'm saying, I've been a musician for 45 years, Dylan, I've played some gigs in some places where I was not appreciated and stuff, and you come off stage and the great Julie Bowen says, I don't accept the compliments, because if I accept the compliments, then I have to accept the criticisms. Because if you come off stage and 6 people say, well, you were fantastic, and 1 people say you were lousy, then, you know, you say, well, there's only 8 people in the audience, you're lucky you got anything. No. So if you can say, okay, I believe you, if I'm believing you that I'm great, then I also have to believe you that I wasn't any good tonight. And so it works better if one can separate. It's nice to get the good stuff, and it's not nice to get the bad stuff. But if you can become slightly immune to any of them, then it makes the bad stuff a lot weaker. And I say to my children, you know, I mean, I get comments on, I'm sure I'll get some comments about this, you know. What was it the other day? I can't remember. Someone said something about my guitar tone. I said, hey man, your guitar tone too heavy in the right channel, man. Hurts my ears. It's my sound. That's what I sound like on stage. That's what I started out playing like. In garages, we're in a basement, actually, in a basement, a squat we were all living in back in the early 80s, very early 80s. And so that's my sound. That's the sound I like. That's the sound I go for. So, you know. And I say to my son, and I'll say it again now, and all this stuff here, if anything's come along and anyone's being unkind to you online and that kind of stuff, yes, I said, take a sigh and go, right, yeah, it hurts, but, you know, just say to yourself, well, thank goodness I'm not them. Thank goodness I'm not him. Thank goodness I'm not her. All that kind of stuff swirling around in the head. Let's proceed a little bit further. These videos only run 35 minutes. I've done like, you know, 3 songs so far. Oh, here's a nice one. So this isn't in order because this is a while back. Okay, this is cool. I like this song. I like all my songs, but sometimes they take me by surprise when they come out and think, oh, yeah. Beautiful lady. Beautiful lady, a dream made real. Dare I tell you how I feel? You fly like a shooting star across the landscape of the heart. Your soul is an unconquered ocean that no one can chart. Beautiful lady, you defy time. Poets, they paint you in verse and rhyme. You inspire all who meet you with your grace and elegance. Who could fail to fall in love with you at e'en the merest glance? Beautiful lady, you flame the mind. Your voice invites, your lips spellbind. No self-pretense surrounds you, and you brook no fallacy. You light the shade where'er it lands with your propriety. Beautiful lady, and then, now, and when. Lover, saviour, and more. Friend. To know you fleeting moments is to live forever. May truth always dance in your eyes, and tears fall from them never. When did I write it? I'm curious to know. 14th of September 2024. Shower and day. Well, I've forgotten that. The first verse of that came to me. The first line. Yeah, it was the first verse. I was in the shower, and the first verse came to me in the shower. Quickly getting dried pen and paper, and humming the melody line over. I wrote that for a lady who's an actress, but is now not an actress any longer. I don't know what she does now. Someone sent me a picture of her a while back because she had an uncanny resemblance to someone who I was married to at some point. and said, "Is this?" And I said, "No, goodness me, what does this lady do? Who is this lady?" And I said, well, okay, what she does for a living, or is she? But I mean, just an absolutely astonishingly beautiful lady. And I was able to put that in and make a romantic work that applies hopefully to all ladies. Well, the next one, the opening lines of this are not my own. This is a rewrite of Leonard Cohen's Like a Bird on the Wire. As 95% of it is mine, and I'll call it my lyric. Someone sent me a nice message. See previous entry about messages on one of my channels about one of my songs. And I clicked on their channel to see what they did, and they were doing a cover version of Leonard Cohen's Bird on the Wire. I've never ever sung that. And as ever, when I do someone else's song, I try and do it justice, but I also have to find my own port of call inside it. Boy, does that drive the Bob Dylan fans absolutely crazy when I do that. If you change an apostrophe, how dare you. Like songwriters, we just, we love other people doing our stuff. Other people do my stuff, good, bad, indifferent. Well, I have learned to keep my mouth shut about my opinions of it these days. But it's always an honour, So this is called Bird on a Wire. Actually, I'm going to change the title. I'm going to call it Like a Bird on the Wire. Like a bird on the wire, like the martyr facing the fire, I've tried in my own way to be free. Like the vows I forsook, like the denouement to the last book, I tried to hurt no one but me. And if I have been unkind, please let it not dwell in your mind. And if I ever spoke words untrue, it was to deceive myself, not you. Like a dream you awoke from too soon, like a heartbeat in an empty room. Vague traces are all I can leave. Like the final note of the song and the memory of where I went wrong. For what never was, I must grieve. I met a beggar and he asked of me, how much do your eyes choose not to see? Only myself, I softly replied. When I turned, he had gone from my side. Like a stairway that only ascends, like a lover that only pretends, I leave all I meet unfulfilled. Like the touch of a baby's hand, like the dove seeking somewhere to land. My search for the answers is not stilled. And if I ever brought tears to your eyes, and my words ever wore a disguise, add these to the sins that I confess, and please believe I did my best. But I think that only the opening line is Leonard's, and the rest of it. When I sing it, it's obviously his tune. Well, I've only sung it once. I couldn't believe, actually, that I'd never sung that song. Oh, hello. Oh man, okay, well, this is called some of these, even though I've only written, because I write a song a day, 2 songs a day, I believe that Not many dreams left now. I believe that was my 111th song of the year on the 3rd of October. So, prolific to the end. So was Van Gogh. Their song. Clean intro. Their song. The child's screams sliced the night. Mummy, no more, please no. The neighbours close their doors and turn out their lights. They don't want to know. The school welfare officer sees nothing, so her statement will read. Children fall over and hurt themselves all the time. The headmaster nods, indeed. Social services sing the same song, he looked fine to me. No cause for concern, her cursory report says. Nothing here to see. The doctor knows the game. Deny there was any evidence. The bruises must have happened after I saw him. Another link in the chain of pretense. The police say we're absolved, though they were caught 12 times. Well, we questioned him in front of his mother, and he told us he was fine. Everybody always sees nothing, all blind, all deaf, all dumb. Another one-day newspaper tragedy headline. Tomorrow there will be another one. And that's called Their Song. I can't speak for the rest of the world, but in England. Near twilight. It's getting near twilight in a myriad of ways. I feel like I'm following myself everywhere I go. Insinuators lurking on the street corners of every tongue. When they get you in their sights, the invective starts to flow. Many things you've done I've tried to rise above. So many more I'll never be able to forgive. I've heard you plead innocence before you even do the deed. Picking a face at random to commit your crimes with. Your caveat kiss was forged in a furnace of lies. I've seen compromisers set aflame by your lips. At the sound of your name, saints slink into the shadows. Knaves offer to be your slaves, and sinners tighten their grips. You'll not wash your hands clean in this life or the next. Importuners of the flesh are drawing straws tonight. Even blank cards are marked in some way. You'd be surprised at what gets seen when it's getting near twilight. If love is not enough for you, I don't know what you need to hear, and I can't think what to say. I reach for you to pull you near, you just push me away. These days you treat me callously, and that I don't deserve. If love is not enough for you, I have nothing in reserve. You still look like the man I met, but he's not who you are now. Are you harboring some regret that has changed you so somehow. You are silent, cold and distant. Your tenderness has gone. If love is not enough for you, then too much has gone wrong. We used to laugh so often, but those times have disappeared. Your touch was oh so soft then. Now you shrug when you cause tears. Once our hearts were in harmony, but no, not anymore. If love is not enough for you, it's time to close the door. I wonder, as I watch you sleep, can it be like it was before? If love is not enough for you, I can't do this anymore. I really must be near the end of the file now. I don't know if there's any way I can look behind you and see. Yeah, and we think we've gone over. In case there is any left, that last song, so I wrote that as a female. So, you know, my songs, you know, are not only genderless, but I tend to be when I write them as well.